Hello everybody, my name is Suyash. You're watching Mind Body Spirit. Today we are going to talk about a very special topic. The topic is special because a lot of people that talk about the law of attraction, a lot of people that teach the law of attraction avoid talking about this topic, and they do that because they fear that this topic will drive people away, drive people off the law of attraction. The topic that we are talking about is action. Well, I disagree. I think it is only because of some sort of a misinformation that anybody would be demotivated about action, because in my experience, action has made applying the law of attraction very easy. Action has made manifestation much faster for me countless times, countless experiences of that. Today I'll be sharing some of those experiences with you, and I'll be sharing you 4 benefits, 4 ways to use action to your advantage and to manifest things faster and better with the law of attraction. Super exciting video, and let's get started. Now you may think that action is difficult. Well, let me tell you something that is more difficult than action in this video. Let's try to understand the law of attraction without action. So without action, what is the law of attraction? It is very simply thinking about some thoughts, emitting a positive frequency, thoughts as if that thing that we are trying to manifest has already manifested, and then simply waiting for it to manifest, right? Waiting for it to manifest. Now, there are many things about human beings that I probably don't know, but there is one thing that I know, and that is that we hate waiting. Waiting makes us cranky. Waiting is something very unpleasant to us. And when we are made to wait, when we have no other option but to wait, we just try to find something to make waiting easier. So I was at the airport the other day and my flight was delayed by a couple of hours. That made me very restless, and what I did was I just paced all around the airport. I ate food that I didn't even want to eat. I wasn't even hungry. And that is, I think, one of the major causes of weight gain and obesity and all of that. We eat because we don't want to wait, right? And so we hate waiting more than we hate being fat. And that's a fact, isn't it? So basically it's a fact that to avoid waiting, we want to act. To avoid just waiting and looking at the screen, okay, 45 more minutes to go for my flight. Instead of doing that, I much rather prefer to do stuff that I am not even interested in. I don't want to eat, I don't want to shop, and yet I eat and shop because I like those things much better than to wait. And so something very similar happens with the law of attraction also. Instead of just waiting for it to happen, if we can undertake some action towards the realization of our goals, and what kind of actions to take we'll discuss towards the end of this video, but if we can take some action, it will make applying the law of attraction much easier. And let me tell you 4 reasons why taking some action makes the law of attraction easier for us, makes manifestation faster for us. The first is, it takes our attention away from is it here yet, is it manifesting yet. This is the self-talk if we are just waiting. Whereas when we are taking some action, the self-talk changes to it's gonna happen. I'm also acting towards it, and so it will happen. And if not, at least the self-talk changes to action. Okay, so now I need to do this, now I need to do that. It takes our attention away from waiting, which is anyway very cumbersome. But from the law of attraction perspective, waiting basically means is it here yet? And the answer to that is, when there is a self-talk, when there's a conversation going on in our mind, the answer to is it here yet is no, it's not. And so basically in the law of attraction, what we are doing is we are spending some time, preferably at the beginning of the day, just thinking that it has already happened, and the rest of the day we are trying to just be as happy and as cheerful and as optimistic as we can be. But if this is our self-talk, is it here yet, and the answer is no, well, that nullifies the benefit that we have received as a result of in the morning just sending out thoughts of already having it. So when we act, what we do is that, first of all, that benefit that we've received from that morning activity, and also repeating that activity several times, just thinking that it has already happened, the first thing that we are doing is the resistance to that would take place simply by waiting. We are first of all ending that resistance. So from that self-talk, no, it is not here yet, that counter action is not taking place. Secondly, when we act, we become positive, we become optimistic, we become expectant, right? And so that is the first benefit. The second benefit is something that we all must have noticed at some point or the other. When we are very free, when we have got nothing to do, when we are very lazy, when we have overslept, we can actually sense that our self-esteem goes down, right? When something like that happens, and then somebody is coming to meet us, the way we talk to them, the way we get ready to meet them is not really very nice. It's as if it becomes like a burden to get out of bed once we have overslept. Whereas if we are in a disciplined state, and if we are taking action, if we are achieving stuff, and if we are in this fired up mode, basically everything becomes easy. and that has an impact in our self-esteem. And high self-esteem, we are able to achieve so much more. Low self-esteem, I think, really creates a big resistance to applying the law of attraction. So when we are acting, when we are doing stuff, and when we are in this mode of achievement and accomplishment, and when we are feeling proud of ourselves, that increases and improves our self-esteem to a large extent. And a good self-esteem is the best thing that can happen to us from a law of attraction perspective. The third reason why action makes the law of attraction easier and faster is that we have all grown up with a set of pre-existing beliefs. And yes, now that we know the law of attraction, we are trying to change those beliefs. We are trying to drop them with theta meditation, with affirmation. We are trying to actually create and inculcate new beliefs that really serve us. But that is a slow process. The pre-existing beliefs still exist. They have not completely been replaced. And so it makes sense to use those pre-existing beliefs to our advantage. Instead of those beliefs harming us, why not use those beliefs to manifest with the law of attraction? How do we do that? We do that by taking some action, because we have all grown up with this belief that action and result, work and result are connected. You've got to work really hard for success. We have all grown up with this belief. While with the law of attraction, it may not be entirely true, but at least for us, it is definitely true because we have that belief. And so when we act, we are fulfilling that belief. Otherwise, it would have created resistance. Otherwise, what would have happened is, because that belief is still there, it would keep knocking us and pinching us that, you're not working, so you don't deserve it. So that resistance would have been there. But because we are acting, we are sort of satisfying this voice within us that would otherwise keep disturbing us. So when we take action, we nullify this huge resistance that would be there otherwise. So instead of having these deservingness problems because of that pre-existing beliefs, you're not working hard, so you don't deserve it. Instead of having this problem, why not act a little bit and just have this feeling within ourselves that yes, I completely and totally deserve it. Not only am I really acting towards the realization of that goal, I'm also applying the law of attraction. That would create something really wonderful that would make you really feel that you deserve it. Deservingness, just like self-esteem, is something extremely important. The fourth benefit is that when you are acting towards a goal, you learn a lot about how important that goal is to you, why that goal is important to you, and you get much clearer about that goal and several other goals that you want to achieve. Now, I may not be able to really explain this in a very good way because this is something to be experienced, but when you act towards a goal while you are applying the law of attraction, it really helps you get a lot of clarity about yourself. It will help you realize a lot of things that you probably right now don't even know about yourself, about your ambitions, your aspirations, what you want to truly achieve in your life. So that is the fourth benefit. Now, very briefly, let's talk about what kind of action to take. Well, there can be two scenarios. The first scenario is that you already have a fairly good idea about what you are supposed to do in order to reach your goals. So when you know, just start acting. If there are any constraints, well, just act to the extent to which it is possible. Just start taking some steps. Even if they are baby steps, just start taking them, right? Because being stationary is cumbersome for us, whereas moving about is something that comes natural to us. When you'll start taking some action, you'll start experiencing the four benefits that we just discussed. The other scenario can be that you don't know what to do. You have a goal, you want to achieve something, but you have no idea how to go about it. Well, in that case, just keep applying the law of attraction. What will happen is that you will get some nudges from within and you'll get some inspiration to do something. Now, when that happens, don't start hesitating and don't start second guessing that am I really supposed to do this and this and that. When there is that gut feeling, when there is that nudge from within, just simply act and just go ahead with that action. And so that gut feeling that you got is something that is called inspiration. And when you recognize that inspiration, when you accept that inspiration and you act on it, that action is not just a simple action, it is something that is called inspired action. And that is why often with the law of attraction it is said that you don't need to know the how of every intention. You don't need to know how it will happen. You just need to know the what, or rather the why, your dream, your goal, whatever it is, why you are applying the law of attraction, for what you are applying the law of attraction. If that the how will emerge out of it. All you need to do is just be open to it and accept it and act on it when that happens. And when you're undertaking inspired action, it feels really good. You feel a lot of joy in acting on that inspiration. So don't be stationary, just move around. Waiting is very cumbersome, whereas taking action is fun. And why action makes the law of attraction easy and fast? Well, all the things that we've already discussed, but also because action makes the law of attraction fun. And we automatically, by ourselves, we become better and better at something that we are having fun in. So have fun with the law of attraction. You will automatically become a better and faster manifester. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. Any comments or feedback, please use the comment section. Subscribe and also hit the bell icon to be notified about my future videos. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.